What's up, dudes? Trey back again here bringing another MMA related video. So this time we're doing a fight video prediction for the upcoming UFC 133 fight between, this will be the main event of the evening, so this will be between Rashad Evans and Mr. Wonderful Davis. This is a very, very hard fight to call and to bet on and, just to try to make a prediction for overall, because you got two guys who, Rashad Evans being one of the best in light heavyweight division, and Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful, basically coming up as the next up-and-comer. A lot of people talking about him maybe even being able to beat John Jones, maybe being able to, to beat out everybody pretty much, based on the fact that he is probably the best wrestler in the 205 division in terms of pedigree and, his resume. On paper, he's the best wrestler in that division, maybe except for King Mo. But other than that, he's pretty much the best. I think he was at Purdue wrestling, and and he did very, very well. I mean, his record is crazy. If you guys go look at it, in terms of wrestling, he is amazing. Obviously, we know Rashad Evans is also a good wrestler. He went to Michigan State, and he did very well as a wrestler. But his resume on paper, he's not as good of a wrestler as Phil Davis is, not even close. But that being said, this is mixed martial arts, and Rashad Evans has a lot more experience on how to use his wrestling in MMA than Phil Davis does. Rashad Evans has also got one of the most impressive records in the UFC. He's only lost once to Lyoto Machida. Other than that, he's won every fight, even if it's in kind of like boring fashion. Like he did against Rampage. He just kind of, pushed him up against the cage most of the time and clinched him and, hugged him out and won the decision. So this is going to be a 3-round fight as well. We could be seeing the same thing happen here. We could see Rashad, essentially use his experience and just basically this become a wrestling match. Now, if that happens, if this becomes a wrestling match, who knows what's going to happen? Rashad, GSP's proved before that you can't just say for sure that, one wrestler is going to be able to, handle the other one, take him down, when you've got, like, for example, Josh Koscheck and GSP, for example. On paper, Koscheck is a much more well-established wrestler. But then, they fight and GSP's taking him down all the time. So we could see something like that in this fight with Rashad. He might be able to even take Phil Davis down. I mean, who knows? We'll have to see. Through watching their fights, I did notice the biggest difference between the two. So in terms of wrestling, I'd say you're looking at Phil Davis has got the better skills there, most likely. But as far as striking goes, I think you have to give the advantage to Rashad. Phil Davis, when he was fighting against Little Nog, he was using a lot of kicks and that kind of stuff, which was good, and he was doing pretty good, but he wasn't really using his hands much, and Rashad's got pretty good hands. He's pretty fast, and he can knock. He's got knockout power. Remember the knockout of the year against Chuck Liddell and some of the other guys. I mean, he does have knockout power, and he can throw his hands when he wants to. So, even though this fight is kind of like a coin toss, a coin flip to try to determine what's going to happen and make a prediction, I'd have to say that overall I would go with, I think, Rashad Evans with a little bit of an advantage here because of the fact that he has better hands for sure. Superior striking, in my opinion. Now, Phil Davis does fight at a good range. He fights at a kickboxing range, and then when he comes in close in a boxing range, he just takes the guy down. So we could see something like that as well, and we could see a decision here for Phil Davis. So again, this is like a coin toss in this one. It's so hard to try to predict and try to say, even see what might happen. I think that if I had to pick someone, I'd go with Rashad Evans. And based on these lines, when we saw Brock Lesnar fight against Shane Carwin, and this isn't the only example, but that was one a lot of people saw. When you saw two guys who were good at wrestling, one guy being better, which was Brock, of course. When they started to wrestle, in MMA, basically, Shane Carwin was able to shrug Brock off. Not easily, but he was able to do it. I think that this will be somewhere along those lines. Even though Mr. Wonderful is better at wrestling than Evans, I still think that Evans should be able to shrug him off pretty easily. and it'll become harder for Phil Davis. Phil Davis probably won't be able to take him down almost at all, and he'll be forced to strike with him. When he does, I think we'll see Rashad Evans either knock out Phil Davis or box him out with some jabs, some right hands, and win out a decision. So I guess I'm picking Rashad Evans, even though this is a very, very hard fight to predict. And I guess I'll say by decision most likely. That's it for now, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the new up-and-comer is going to beat Rashad? Do you think Phil Davis will be able to take Rashad down over and over again and win out a decision that way? Let me know right in the comments, and we'll talk about it. I'll see you. Peace.